Hello, you have decided to study Hebrew, and I'm very happy for you. And I'm happy to present this first lesson out of a series of 20 lessons. It's a crash course for absolute beginners. Don't worry that you know nothing. You've never heard a word in Hebrew. This course is for you, or will learn all the basics from the very beginning. And Hebrew is a wonderful language. I like this language very, very much. It's a beautiful language. It's a melodical language. It's a very logical language. I hope you like it. I will be, these are, since I am trying to maintain the framework of a Skype lesson, but these lessons are still a recorded lesson. So of course, I will pretend that you're there at that side and asking you questions, but still it's a video. So I will be talking fast because you can pause at any moment. You can pause, you can play back, you can fast forward, etc. So without long explanations, let's just start learning. Let's start our journey of learning Hebrew. For beginners, I have many good news, but first let's learn our first word. And our first word would be the word that we use a lot, would be the word for ourselves, and the word for I. I in Hebrew is, as you see, it was written already here, I is ani. Ani. Now you can say, I could say, I am Alisa, which is my name. Ani. I am Alisa. How do I say that? Am. No. Good news that Hebrew is very simple. There is no am, is, are. You just say, I, Alisa, I, your name, I, Moshe, I, Yosef. That's it. Ani, Alisa. That's it. And you can say, of course, not only the name, you can use any other word for that. For example, student, like student, someone who studies in a school, student. TALMID. And someone is saying, I am a student. He says, Ani TALMID. And if this someone wants to ask a question and to ask, am I a student? How do we do that? We don't have am, so what do we change in a sentence to ask a question? Hebrew is easy. There are many good news, as I say, but there's no am, is, are, and there's no question word or question order to ask a question. So how do we know that to ask a question? Intonation. I am a student. Ani talmid. Am I a student? Ani talmid. Question. Intonation is enough to make sentence a question. Now, no am is are, no question order. By the way, so see, Hebrew lacks many things. If I'm at this note of Hebrew is not having this and that, if you look at this text behind at the background, you can see that a text in Hebrew, and this text has big letters and dots and small dots. These dots are vowels. That's how we write vowels in Hebrew with these dots. For example, this is this is but not having am is are, not having question order or question word. We also don't have something else. We are not writing these vowels in books for grown-ups. In most books, in like 90% of books, we're not writing vowels. So you could ask, but wait a second, how do you read? How can you read without vowels? It's not a secret. I am sure that any English speaker will be able to read this word. I'm writing an English word without vowels, just with consonants. Can you try to understand what it means, what it is? Try to imagine there are vowels inside. There were tests also made about how we recognize words, and usually it's a hint. If we know the language, if we know the words, there is no problem to guess that it means ta-da, telephone. I hope you guessed that. So we have no am is are, no question order, no vowels in most texts. How does this language function? Yeah, it has nothing. But there are some additional things that other languages do not have. Maybe it will be surprising for you, maybe not. It depends which language you speak. I should have said before that the word that I mentioned for a student, TALMID, is the masculine form for a student. That's a he student, TALMID. In Hebrew, we have a she form for many things, and in Hebrew, any noun has a gender. It's not a surprise for you if you are a German speaker or Russian speaker. Then I should say it is even simpler, because Hebrew has like in Russian or German, we have three genders: masculine, feminine, and neutral. Hebrew has no neutral gender. No, just masculine and feminine, and they are rather regular. So if I say that Talmid is a he student, and a boy will say Ani Talmid, I am a student. Now a girl would say, let me show you, Talmid. That was the masculine form. The feminine form wouldn't change much. We would just add a vowel at the end. Talmida. Talmid, that's a boy student. Talmida, a girl student. So I, about myself, I would say Ani Talmida. And a boy would say Ani Talmid. Now, if I want to say I am if you ask me, are you a student? And I would say no. How do I say no? Just simple negation, no. No in Hebrew is lo. You ask me, are you a student? And I'm saying lo. Lo. Lo, it means no. And let's ask a question now. This is a something something, and for that we need to know the word for this. This, in Hebrew, I'll move these words a little bit around, and learn the word this. The word for this in Hebrew is ze. Now, let's ask, and I'll be using words that you definitely know. For example, let's ask a question. Is this a bus? A bus in Hebrew is OTOBUS, very similar to English. How do we say? Is this a bus? Is, there's no is in Hebrew, so we just say this, and then say a bus, and with the question intonation. Ze autobus? Ze autobus? What do you think? Ze autobus? No. How do we say no? No. Lo. Ze autobus? Lo. This is a balloon, and balloon in Hebrew is balon. Balon. Ze autobus? Lo. Ze balon. Now, this is a bus. Ze autobus. And if you want to say this is a bus, this is not a balloon. How do we say not? Again, good news. In Hebrew, no and not is the same word. Lo, need to change nothing. So if you say this is not a balloon, you say ze lo balon. Ze lo balon. How do you say this is not a student? Ze lo talmid. Excellent. Mitsuyan. And if you want to ask a question, what is this? We need to know the word for what, the question word. That's your first question word. What? What in Hebrew is ma. Now, how do you ask what is this? Of course, you remember is. There's no is in Hebrew. So ma ze. Ma ze. Now, I could ask, um, what is this? Teachers like to, for example, to use this fruit. It's the same in many languages. Avocado. So ask me, what is this? How do you ask what is this? Ma, ze. And you would answer ze, avocado. Let's play this game again. I will ask me, what is this? Again, ma, ze. And the answer would be ze balloon. It's a balloon. Now, how do you think? Balloon. Is this word is masculine or feminine? Because remember, every noun is either masculine or feminine. Balloon, feminine or masculine? How do you know that? Good guess. It is masculine. Why? Because it doesn't end with a. All the feminines, well, not all of them, but for now, for us, feminine form ends with a. Most of feminine words in feminine end with a. So, for example, if I give you another word and I'll tell you what it means, GLIDA. And GLIDA means, yes, right, GLIDA is an ice cream. Is it feminine or masculine? Good guess. It is feminine because it ends with a. And the word I mentioned before, autobus, was it feminine or masculine? OTOBUS. Right, of course, it's masculine. It doesn't end with a, it ends with a consonant, autobus. Now, and how do you say this is an ice cream? Ze, glida. How do you ask, what is this? Ma, ze. How do you say, this is not a girl student? Ze, lo, talmida. Talmida. This is girl student, ends with a. Now, so far, all of these words were nouns. Nouns, I mean, they answer the question what or who. A student, a balloon, a bus, an ice cream. And if you want to describe a noun, for example, not just a student, but what kind of student? Let's say an adjective, a good student. How do we say good in Hebrew? Good in Hebrew is tov, good. Good. So that was student. So how do we say a good student? Now here, the order of the words is a little bit different. We say first the noun and then the verb, then the adjective. Noun. The order is noun plus adjective. That's the normal word order in Hebrew. So we say Talmid Tov, not good student, but student good. Talmid Tov. Now, a question. If we want to describe a girl student, how would we say that? We would say first take the word for girl student. Here's the girl student, Talmida, girl student, and now add good. Here is a trick that Hebrew, very logical, that Hebrew likes very much. Talmida has an Talmida is like Talmid with the a ending. Now, the adjective must have the same gender ending as the noun. So Talmida would be Tova. Talmida Tova. How do you say this is a good student? Ze. This is, no is. Ze Talmida Tova. How do you say this is not a good student? Ze lo Talmida Tova. Let's say add another adjective, gadol. Gadol means big. Big. How do you say this is a big bus? Ze otobus gadol. And if you want to say it's a big ice cream, how do you say that? Ze glida g'dola. This a sound kind of runs away. Okay, pay attention to that. GADOL G'DOLA. Ze GLIDA G'DOLA. You could also, let's take another. GADOL was big, KATAN is small, the opposite. KATAN small, little, small. Now, how do you say this is a small balloon? Ze balon katan. This is a small little girl student. Or no, I am not a little girl student, I could say about myself. How did we say I? Remember? I was here. Ani, I am not. Ani lo, girl student. Talmida, Katan was small, but we have to put it into the feminine form. It would be Ktana. So again, I am not a little girl student. Ani lo talmida ktana. Ani lo talmida ktana. I'm not a little girl student. I'm not a small girl student. Ani lo talmida ktana. Okay, so far I have been writing in Latin letters. Are we going to learn how to read and write Hebrew? Yes, of course. And this, for that, I do not teach all the alphabet in one lesson. I took care for the I want you to remember things easily. We don't have to suffer. We are learning language for fun. So I have divided the alphabet into 4 groups, and in 4 lessons we will cover all the alphabet. In general, it is easy. Yes, the alphabet is different. It looks different. It looks very. It's beautiful. Here's the text written in Hebrew letters. I think they are very, very beautiful. That's how print letters look like. And there are different fonts. This is one of the fonts. There are simpler fonts, and maybe not that pretty and nice. So I will not teach you all the alphabet in once. I will first teach you 1/4 of the alphabet, and here it goes. Have a look. This is the table with all the letters. We do not have many letters. We have only 22 letters. Why only 22? You're asking why 22? As you've seen already, the vowels are these dots underneath, and the vowels are not really part of the alphabet. They're not counted as part of the alphabet. So here, these are the 22 letters, and vowels are not among them. The vowels are here. You see the squares here, and under the squares are these signs, and these are the vowels. They're not included in the alphabet. We're going to learn them as well. So the first letters that we're going to learn today are simple letters that they have sounds. Sound like English letters. This is G, this is D, and you see above. This is the sound. This is how the letter looks like. Letters also have names. I'm not going to teach you the names of the letters. We will learn it a little bit later. Just the sounds now. This is L. This is S. Very easy to remember because it looks like a circle. Circle, or a snake that bites its tail. S, a circle. This is K. Quite easy to remember the sound. For this letter, the sound is a little bit different because it's not the English R, it's rather R, down the throat. It's a lateral sound, R. Okay, don't confuse these 2 letters, please. This is like a sliding R, it slides down, and this has a small tail here. Okay, so there is a letter so far. And these 3 are why do we have 3 graphical representations of one sound? Historically, it happened like that. For us, any horizontal line is A, as a rule. Horizontal line A, horizontal line with a small leg A, horizontal line with 2 dots A. Okay, so we know some letters. What can we do with them? We can read some words. And for reading some words, I have prepared a page for you. A page that consists of a page that has words that consist only of the letters that we have studied so far. And of course, I will keep both documents open so you can have a look. And basically, every lesson will have a reading page. And in the first lessons, I will help you to read it during our video session. Later on, you will be reading on your own and checking your pronunciation and your understanding and reading checking it according to the audio file that I also have. Now, let's look at the first letter. Let's start reading now. This letter is, here it is, G. Then underneath, and we look below, we read like it's zigzag. We check this letter, look down. What's the sound down there? Ah. Basically, we have only A's today. Yeah, we have only A today. So we have G, A, and the next letter, what is this letter? This letter is D, God. So here we have, that's a boy's name, and it says here on the left, if you haven't seen it so far, that's a hint. It's a very, very, obvious hint. God. It's a boy's name. If you ask me for the dot inside, it means nothing. For us, no meaning, but it has to be there according to the rules of vocalization, the rules of putting the nikud. It's called nikud. The vocals, the vowels. It's not really vowels, it's vocalization. It's called nikud, and it has the rules of its own. We don't need to know them. So, next word, let's try reading it. Yes, the first letter is, yes, it is D. The vowel underneath is A. The next letter is, what's this letter? G. Right, dag. So what's that dag? What does it mean dag? Dag means a fish. Now, how do you say it is a big fish? Remember? It is ze, big, gadol. But then we have to put first the fish and then the big. So ze, fish, how was the fish? Remember? Ze, dag. How do we say big? Gadol. Ze dag gadol. It's a big fish. Next word is S. Remember circle. Underneath. A. Next letter is, here it is, L. Sal. Sal is a basket. Okay, just a basket. Not a very useful word probably, but these are the words we can combine with the letters we have so far. Next. This is K. And the vowel below A. The next letter is R. R. Kar. And that's another adjective. Here we have another adjective. Kar. Cold. So how do you say a cold fish? Fish, cold. Dag. Kar. Now, how do you say then a cold ice cream? Ice cream. How was ice cream? Glida. And cold was kar, but glida is feminine, so the ending will change to the feminine ending. So glida kara. Very good. Glida kara. Here's a very useful word. Only. R. Vowel underneath is A. Next letter is K. Rak. Only. How to say this is only a small ice cream. This is ze. Only. Rak. Ice cream. Glida. Cold. Kar. It's feminine, so kara. Ze rak. Glida. Kara. Next word is G. The vowel is A. Here's G. Vowel is A. G. A. Ga. And this letter is L. So we have gal. 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 A wave. Let's imagine sailors at the sea, and one is looking there at the sea and asks the other, and calls to the other, says, "Oh, it's a big wave." How would he say that? Ze gal, big. Do you remember big? Gadol. Ze gal gadol. And the other sailor will calm him down and say, "No, it's only a small wave." Means don't worry. This is ze. Only. We had this only. Rak. Ze rak, wave. Gal, small. Katan. Lo. Ze rak, gal, katan. It's not a big wave. Ze lo, gal, big, gadol. Ze, it, rak, only. Ze rak, it's only. Gal, katan. זה לא גל גדול, זה רק גל קטן, calm down, no, no, it's not a stormy weather, everything will be fine. Okay, next one for us is letter. What letter is this? Remember? Here's the hint. K, 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 and then the vowels A, And the next letter is L. Kal. Kal is easy. Here's another adjective. We're happy to have that adjective. Kal. Now, you can say Hebrew. Kal means easy or light. So you can say Hebrew is easy. How do you say that? How do we say Hebrew, by the way? Hebrew is not Hebrew. It is Hebrew in Hebrew is Ivrit. Hebrew, Ivrit. So Hebrew, this is easy. Ivrit, this is ze, light, easy. Kal, Ivrit, ze, kal. Yes, do you agree with me? I think Ivrit ze kal. Hebrew is easy. And the last word to practice, and we can finish this lesson for today, is G. The vowel is A, and the other letter is R. So what do we have? Gar, lives, he lives. We'll talk about verbs later. This is just to practice the reading, and there were some words I want you to know that I didn't mention so far. A couple of words such as please and thank you, and a very and one word I will mention now where you have this. So you can say, if you don't think that Hebrew is easy, you want to say that, oh, Hebrew is a mess, but don't think that. No, I don't want you to think like that, but I want you to know the word for mess. Probably not a very useful word to learn for a start, but it is because some words are have very high frequency, depending, not universal high frequency, but cultural frequency, and a mess has a very high frequency in Hebrew. Mess is balagan. If you've ever been to Israel, probably you've heard this word balagan, a mess. So how do you say, oh, it's a mess? Ze balagan. So do you want to say Ivrit ze balagan? Lo. Ivrit ze lo balagan. Hebrew is not a mess. Ivrit ze kal. Hebrew, it's easy. I hope you think so. And please learn your vocabulary at the memorize down below, and try reading these words again, and do the exercises, the translation, the sentences for translation as your homework. It helps you to the major. I'm very consistent with the vocabulary that we have. So the vocabulary that you see at the memorize will be the vocabulary that you need for doing the homework. The grammar that we've studied so far will be the grammar that will be needed for you to do the homework. I'm very consistent. I won't ask you to do something you haven't met, or you haven't seen, or haven't learned or studied before. Okay, so this was our first lesson. I hope you liked it, and do your homework and come for the second lesson. See you. Bye bye.